Ealing, West London. At Dormers Wells High School, 2 NQT mentors are about to help 2 new teachers grapple with the everyday reality of teaching. Alka Bhagat leads a team of mentors working to a tried and tested system of classroom observation that's been developed by staff over many years. Regular critical analysis of teaching technique is central to the school's ethos. NQT Paul Craven is about to teach a geography lesson on the complex issue of globalisation.
Just stand behind your chairs quietly like we always do.
Today's class is one of the school's most testing. Mixed ability, Year 8.
Tricia, will you mind going next to Nadir?
Paul is being observed by advanced skills teacher Justin Guntrip.
The most important part is actually giving them confidence, and no teacher wants to come out of a lesson thinking they haven't done anything right. And I think once you can build on the positive and try and perhaps persuade them that there's more positive than negative there, then you're winning the battle already. And I think it's just homing in on perhaps some of the few issues that perhaps they need to address that will make them that better teacher.
I want you to do what you normally do. Sit down nice and quietly. Begin this cryptogram, please. The one who gets it first will get a merit from me. Right, Saba, Sai, Noah, Pfizer.
At Dormers, the starter activity is seen as absolutely crucial to engage pupils in the lesson, especially with a challenging class.
Anyone there yet? First word is can. Big clue. Can you solve something?
Mystery.
Yeah. What do you solve? Usually mysteries, yeah. Of
Who is to blame for Anne losing her job?
Fantastic, Nadir. Yes. Who is to blame for Annie losing her job? Good man.
The thing I have always found advantageous is to actually try and write down everything that actually happens in the lesson and try and do a sort of minute-by-minute account of it. I think it gives you a good talking point to actually go back over the lesson, and I think it shows that you've been thorough enough in your observation. Overall, I'd say it's a very interesting lesson with some inventive, original exercises, definitely. You've got a fantastic manner with the students. I think you really keep them on their toes, and I think it forces them to join in either orally or cognitively, you know, if they're not actually contributing.
So, how are we going to solve this mystery? In pairs, I'll give you an envelope. Same title as there, who is to blame for Annie losing her job? And I want you to come up with the answer. But importantly, I want you to consider all of the information carefully. Everything you say, when I ask you afterwards about, well, why did you come to that conclusion, that answer, I want you to tell me why. I want you to tell me a good reason why, okay? So in this envelope there are 25 statements. So I want you to read the statements, to put together all the bits of evidence, all the clues, to come up with the answer to who is to blame.
Paul's mystery surrounds the fictional sacking of a British textile worker whose job has gone to the Philippines. He's asking pupils to work out who's responsible, hoping they'll realise that they themselves are partly to blame as consumers of high street fashion.
So that's the one about working as well, then?
This is it. Yeah. It says, Clothes First has closed 2 factories recently in Hammersmith. And look, Annie lives in Hammersmith, so that's fishy.
So where has the job gone?
I don't know, it's gone to...
Where is the job anyway?
Yes, if she lives in Hammersmith, unless this is a red herring, then that means that Annie lost her job because of the closed down factories.
I think if somebody was observing you, they might want to see more structure of differentiation.
Yeah.
You should really show evidence of the student data sheet as well.
So that particular needs to...
Yeah, so that, you know, also that the observer knows what they are, but also it shows that you've thought ahead and that you know what they should and shouldn't be doing, what tasks they should and shouldn't be doing as well.
Oh, right, okay. Wait, is there some sort of system here, or they're just everywhere?
No, there.
All right, okay.
It was £4 for 12.
Is that good?
No.
It's not very good, is it? Yeah, why? So who is Annie then? And what sort of country do we say the Philippines was?
Indonesia, not developed.
Yeah, it's Indonesia and it's not developed.
How do you think you can assess how well each pair is doing when they're doing the investigation? What could you do you think, to get to know what they're on task?
Are we there in a second? Yes.
They are coming out with the answers, but then some of them aren't. So how could you get perhaps the ones that were quiet?
I don't know. Write something down. Maybe.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, something that even a sheet that could have reinforced that, where they were just writing down some of the, the target language that perhaps you're looking for, the target questions. Perhaps at that lower end, have the whole group got it, and perhaps with a sort of worksheet or an extended worksheet or something that was attached to the homework even could have given you that assessment. Okay, that class has got it. And sometimes just look at the whole class and perhaps look at one pair as your benchmark who are very slow and they're not on task, and that's the slowest people in your group, and let's see if you can get them moving, and if you can get them on task, then you're winning there.
Ahmed Shah is about to teach maths to Year 7 Set 1. He's come straight from industry onto the graduate teaching programme and has had just 10 weeks on the job.
Where's the rest of your class? Are they nervous? Okay. Right. Okay, write down 62 as a product of its prime numbers. No, you don't. 1, 2, 3, come put it up. Isaac, put it up.
It was a really good start. The use of the whiteboard was good. Okay, it was good you had the objectives on the board. That was good. And the objectives were quite pupil-friendly. Right. Which means that, they were able to know exactly what they had to achieve by the end of the lesson.
What's wrong? Sit down, okay? Just sit down now.
And then, as soon as those 7 pupils came in late, you were really thrown, weren't you?
I was,
because then you said, and you said this to, I think you meant it to yourself, but you said it out quite loud, and so the children heard. Right. And you said, what am I going to do with the rest of you?
Stop now. Excuse me, you've ruined my lesson already by coming late. Right? Can you sit at the back seat, please? Okay, what am I going to do with you lot now? Right. Okay.
And maybe you weren't aware that you'd actually said that.
Right.
But at that point, you said, okay, let's just move on to the main part of the lesson.
Right.
And I think what you should have done is said, okay, sit down really quickly. And what they could have done is, if you didn't want to give the rest of the whiteboards out because they were late, they could have worked with the person sitting next to them, and you would have still been able to carry on with your starter activity.
I'm just going to start with the main lesson now, okay? We haven't got enough time. We wasted a lot of time, right?
You shouldn't have abandoned the starter, because that would have led on nicely to the main part. Because at the moment they think, the starter's not important, so just abandoned it, Right. And I think you could have got a lot out of the starter in order to lead you into your main lesson.
Now, the try, listen everybody, the try means 3. So you need to remember that. The try means 3. Who can tell me some such shapes which are 4-sided?
Square and a rectangle.
Square and a rectangle.
Said name 1.
Oh, name 1.
Yeah.
Square.
Billy?
Diamond?
Diamond, yeah. Anything else, Sahar? A kite. Okay, Catherine? Trapezium. Okay, good.
And then you started with square, rectangle, rhombus, kite and trapezium. And I thought it would have been better to give maybe the students some sticky labels. Right. So, Post-its. Give each pair 3 Post-its. And what they do is they write them on their Post-its, right? So it's practical. And what you do is then put all the Post-its on the board. And in that way, especially because it was a set 1, you would have got most of these that you wanted to talk about.
Okay.
Yeah?
Right.
It's just another way, isn't it, of extracting information out of them. But it's a fun way, rather than just saying put your hands up. And that way, you see, every child's got to take part. Because the quieter ones just sit there, even if they know, they don't put their hands up.
If you do not have a book to yourself, put your hand up now. I've photocopied the sheets for you, okay? You need these sheets for the whole chapter, okay? Put your hands up now.
Mentors use a detailed observation plan that's constantly being refined by staff. It has 14 separate teaching targets, marked on a 6-point scale.
Obviously, you've got to give them the positive aspects of the lesson as well, You've got to try and say positive things about the lesson. Then there always will be positive things, but you know, how do you build on the things that didn't go so well, or things that went well, but how could you have done them in a different way? So I think being honest with them is really, really important. It was good that you were well prepared, that you had your worksheets for those who didn't have their books with them. So, you know, quickly go through the worksheet, or you can say to them, right, I'm giving you 2 minutes to quickly look through the worksheet and put your hands up if there's anything you don't understand, and then you can just go over it with everybody rather than them putting their hands up all the time.
See, do you have to make your own one up?
Yes, you have to make your own up.
Okay.
Similar to the one.
So you're saying, like, just connect them up?
Yeah, just like that. Put your hand up if you don't understand something. So I said the polygons is a general name.
When you were working on the board, there was a boy behind you. While you were doing the examples of the triangles, he was writing silly messages on his whiteboard and showing them to Isaac.
Isaac, right.
So you've got to have eyes at the back of your head for this job.
Right. Under this category of Stop now. Is understood?
When they're not using the whiteboard, you can say, right, put your whiteboards back in your bags.
Right.
And then it's finished with.
Okay.
Yeah, and then they can't draw any pictures. And when you give them out, you say, right, I don't want you to take the lid off until I tell you to do so.
What I need to do now is to set some homework for you. You need to firstly take your diaries out, everybody. Excuse me, there's no need to talk now. Stop. Stop. Copy it down, please.
Obviously, you're setting homework, but I looked at quite a few books. I looked at Marcus, Akash, Sahar, Isaac, Mohammed, Catherine. They were last marked on the 21st of November, and that was throughout everybody's book. So it's been nearly 3 weeks that they haven't been marked. So you do really need to collect them and get them marked, because especially with set one, they do so much work very quickly. And you know, if you don't mark them once a week, then it means that you have a lot of catching up to do. And also, you can't then plan your lessons according to what they know and what they don't know.
Nuani and Nikisha.
I mean, if we looked at your last... That was the first observation I did, right? Which was on the 15th of September. So that was 2 weeks after you came here, right? And if you look, all my ticks are in the development. So you can see, I mean, the comparison. It is getting better, isn't it? Out of the 4 lessons I've seen, this was the best lesson. Obviously, you are taking the advice that we're giving you on board, but you just got to keep taking it. And, you know, and then all your ticks will be down here.
Okay. Right.
Yeah?
Quick, you're going to be late for the next lesson.
The mentoring relationship relies on honesty and trust between fellow professionals. It's about being positive and practical and giving new teachers the confidence to develop their own unique teaching style.
How was that? I think the lesson went quite well.
To sum up, Dormers believes NQTs should welcome classroom observation and not be afraid of critical feedback, while mentors should always keep a detailed written record and focus on teaching technique before behaviour management. For more advice and a copy of the observation plan, log on to our website and click on A Critical Friend.